This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by legendary Hall of Fame boxing promoter Frank Warren here in London. Frank, good to see you. Busy day, how are you?
I'm good, Andy. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Let's just start off with the woman who is displayed behind you, Chantelle Cameron. Big signing. Talk to me about how this one came about.
It's a big signing. It came about, her team's been negotiating with my son George, and as a result of that, she decided she wants to come to Queensbury, and we're delighted and honoured to have her on board.
Talk to me about the plan you have in place with her, because certainly kind of at her weight you don't have any fighters to match her with, so the other fights that she wants are with other promoters. How's it all going to play out?
We'll make them happen. I mean, we're going to announce her first fight next week. She's going to be fighting in the UK, not far from her home, so that's going to be great, and I'm looking forward to that. And then after that, we will sort her path out to her to regain her titles.
You mentioned up on stage kind of happy families now between promoters working together and what have you. Obviously Eddie and Chantelle had a great deal of success together. When he announced that, or Matchroom announced I was leaving, did you kind of have a conversation to say we might pick her up, or?
No, I told you the deal was done with George. He did the deal. We talked about it, and he put it together.
Moving away from Chantelle, Mr. Aadam Hamed, you guided his father's career. Now you get the chance to guide the son's career.
Yeah, it's a bit of a privilege, and I'm extremely pleased about that. In as much that he's entrusted his son, him and his mum Alicia with me in Queensbury, and we will work hard to hopefully get him to achieve his dreams. Look, he's got a big act to follow. You know, one of the British boxing legends in Naz, world boxing legend, and he's got to be given time. He hasn't any amateur experience. He's been training a lot, as we all know, but in the gyms, training for a long time. But now it's the real thing, the real deal. He's had one pro fight last August, and we've got to just make sure that we guide him correctly and not rush him. He's got a lot to learn, and he won't be rushed.
He made his debut back in August on the Usyk card. Obviously, a lot of time's passed since then. A lot of people would have wanted to see more activity. Is that just the plan for him? Activity and take your time?
That's how he'll learn his craft and his trade, by being active, getting out there and getting experience. That's what he needs, experience. There isn't any amateur experience, so he needs experience.
Just moving away from this, always a few other things to touch on. We're getting closer, ever closer to Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk. How is Mr. Fury doing?
He's doing extremely well. He's looking good. He's in a good place mentally, and he just can't wait for the fight to take place. Nor can I, because I think he's going to make a statement.
That's what I was about to ask you. When he does see people kind of question him, question the cut, do you see it put an extra kind of fire in his belly, if you will?
I think anybody who questions the cut must be a complete moron. But the rest of it, people are entitled to their opinions. But you can't question a cut. When somebody's got a cut and they're having stitches, 15 stitches in a cut, what more do you want? It's not been made up, has it? I mean, how anybody even questions that is beyond me.
Frank, Anthony Yarde, how are things looking between the pair of you?
I'm hoping we can get this resolved, and we're in a position where that's what we want to do.
I do just want to ask on it, Frank, because I haven't spoken to you about it. Obviously, during his career, you've taken him to world title fights. You stuck with him when he lost to Lyndon Arthur, and you have had your critiques with some of the matchmaking throughout his career, but you've delivered for him. Is it disappointing, upsetting to just go through this period together?
Well, I'm disappointed where we are, because I don't want this. I want things to be good. I like Anthony, and we had a fabulous relationship, and I really felt we had a great relationship. So I certainly don't want to be in this position. I want to continue. I believed in him, and I believed in him. He's another one. He had limited amateur experience. He only had 11 or 12 fights as an amateur, and I think we've done brilliant with him. And again, you know, people criticising in those days. I never got them criticising the opponents who were picking for a guy who had such limited experience. And now he's shown he's got better and better. He's now, was he 30, 31, 32 now? It's just this is the time for him now to make the best now of his career. And as I say, where we are is unfortunate, and let's hope it gets resolved.
If it is resolved, is the plan to continue talks for Buatsi fight, or is that kind of past now?
I've got to be honest, I don't think that's going to happen, which is a great shame. Excuse me.
What makes you say that?
Because it hasn't happened.
Moving forward, just your thoughts on Ryan Garcia's positive VADA test as well, Frank?
Very, very disappointing for the sport. Very just awful all round. You know, the fight, that show from beginning to end has had a bad vibe about it. You know, with the mental. At that time, we all thought were mental problems that he was having. Should he be fighting, or was it an act? As we all afterwards, it was being said that it was an act. I don't know. The fact is, he was tested 2 days running, so they obviously were on top of it. And the fact is, he's tested positive, and very few fighters who test positive can explain how they got it satisfactorily, explain why it's in their system. So if he's cheated, it shows, first of all, that the system does work when people are being tested on a regular basis. And what needs to happen now is that he needs to be in a position, or the governing bodies need to be in a position where they do something about it.
Turki Al-Sheikh surprised everyone announcing Crawford-Madrimov for LA, stacked card. Eddie mentioned you'll have some fighters on it. Who are you going to be looking to place on that?
We're working on it at the moment, but I'm delighted with the show. It's a great show out there.
And just very quickly, I've seen him also mention he wants to try and make Deontay Wilder versus Jared Anderson. If Wilder beats your man in the 5 versus 5, just your thoughts on all of it?
Well, look, I know they want to make that fight, but you know what? Big Bang. Big Bang's going to upset everybody.
Just final one on it all. Joseph Parker-Zhang did have a rematch clause with Parker. Has that all kind of subsided now because of this fight?
We at the moment we're sort of a little bit. Well, we got to focus on what's coming up first. Let's get that out of the way.
Frank, thank you.
Cheers, mate.